Hello. So let's begin the reading. The field of logic. Okay. But if we would hold aloof a while from special science and really gain insight into the great store of house of forms which may be interpretable physically or psychically or for any realm of experience, whatever, we must consider abstracted patterns as such. In other words, which anything's whatever may be arranged. The modes under which anything, whatever may present itself to our understanding. This sounds like an utterly impossible and elusive task to a casual observer. It certainly seems as though there must be many incommensurable forms in the world, as there are different kinds and departments of experience. But happily, but happily for our restricted intellect, this is not the case. Many things which look utterly unlike in experience, far more unlike than the motion of skyscrapers, and of violin strings, violin, violin, or tops and planets are really made up in very similar ways. Only it requires a good deal of practice to see this orderliness and system, said Josiah Royce. Quote, much the same in their most general characters, whether they appear in Platonic dialogue or in modern textbook of botany, or in the commercial conduct of business firm, or in the arrangement and discipline of an army, or in a legal code, or in an art work of art, or even in a dance or in the planning of a dinner. Order is order, system is system. Amidst all the variations of systems and of orders, certain general types and characteristic relations can be traced. Unquote. This tracing this tracing of such types and relation among abstracted forms or concepts is the business of logic. Okay. The principle of logic in Windelband of Bruges Encyclopedia of the Philosophical Science. Logic and philosophy. What is the use of science of pure forms? The use of it becomes apparent when we consider what just one branch of the science pursued for its own sake has added to human knowledge. I mean the branch of logic, which we call mathematics. It has made all the quantitative science possible by showing us what relation may hold among quantities. Okay. By telling us what to look for. Some mathematical truths probably were discovered in the course of practical application, but by far the greater number, and among them all, the more subtle and elusive and ultimately most useful mathematical relations were found by people who gave their undivided attention to the study of abstract mathematical forms. Now, what mathematics is to the natural sciences, logic, the most general study of forms, is to philosophy. Okay. The more general understanding of the world. The aim of philosophy is to see all things in the world in proportion to each other, in some order, i.e., to see reality as a system, or at least any part of its belonging to some system. Okay, but before we can find order in system, we must know something about them. Yeah. So as to know what we are looking for, or we shall not recognize them when we find them. Systematic patterns, however, are so much easier to study in abstracto, without the confusing irrelevances of particular case. That although every science may be said to deal with this topic, logic is the science of order par excellence. Philosophy and science deal with interpreted patterns. It is not hard to see. Yeah, it is not hard to see that this work is greatly facilitated by through a command of the abstract science forms. In this case, philosophy, especially logic, is a well known indispensable tool. Yeah. It illuminates problems that have been obscure for hundreds and even thousands of years. Yeah. Puts light on, illuminates means. Hmm. Yeah, something light on. Problem that have been obscure for hundreds and even thousands of years by showing us a possible new formulation of some thoroughly muddled question. It does away with the innumerable notions that are merely different names for one and the same concept. Yeah, it reveals inconsistencies in our most cherished thoughts and suggests remarkable generalization of ideas that seem quite local there in their application. Well, yeah, I mean, philosophy does that, and logic is just like mathematics is for science, for physics, so it is very, very important. Logic is to the philosopher what telescope is to the astronomer. Yeah, okay. An instrument of vision. If we would become astronomers, we must learn the use of telescope, not impatiently tapping to get at more important, but systematically finding a certain interesting interest in the mysteries of the instrument itself. Okay, okay, that is a fucking good line. That is some good sentences coming there together. Okay. Great scientific discoveries have often rewarded men who labor over slight improvements of their instrument. Yeah, okay. Now I think the writing is getting really good. The same is true for logic. If we try to learn it from cursory fashion, grudging the time and thought we would rather put on a metaphysical problem, constantly wondering whether we have not acquired logic for our purpose, we shall never see the world in its clear light. We must work with genuine interest in our distracted abstract subject. We want it to lead us naturally to philosophical topics, as indeed it will to problems of epistemology, metaphysics, and even ethics. Logic applies to everything in the world, but we must understand its powers and difficulties so truly, thoroughly, thoroughly before we can use it. Yeah. A telescope does not of itself find the object we wish to see, nor does it show us anything at which we direct, unless we know precisely how to adjust the focus. That is to say, unless we are truly familiar with instrument. Logic likewise becomes useful and important to the philosopher only after he has really grasped his technique. Any technique seems hard to the novice because at first he is clumsy in his ways. Just as a learner at the typewriter feels that his work is made needlessly hard by the extractions of the system. So the beginner in symbolic logic is apt to think the use of symbols is a silly device to make thinking more difficult. But as the typist soon learns to appreciate the tremendous advantage of the method that dispenses with sight, yeah, so to the logician, the use of symbols soon becomes an inestimable aid in reasoning. Therefore, we should try from the very beginning to operate with symbols, not to write long sentences first and then translate them into required symbolism. Real expression is a reflection to clear concept, and clear concept are the goal of logic. Yeah. Summary: the first step in scientific thinking is the realization one substance may take many forms. Many unlike things may be understood as dissimilar forms of the same material. To understand a thing is not merely to know have a sensory knowledge of it, but to have knowledge about it, to know how it is made and what other form it might take. Form does not necessarily mean shape, logical form means structure, or the way the thing is put together. Yeah. The many synonyms for form show that we use it in a highly general sense. Structure again does not mean a deliberate putting together or even any actual consecutive combination of parts that first are given separately. It means an orderly arrangement of parts that may be found in nature as well as in artifacts. A construct is not necessarily made out of physical substance. Therefore, form should be distinguished not from matter but from content. The content of a logical form may be physical, musical, temporal, or in some other way non-physical, just as well as physical. Two things which have the same logical uh, two things which have the same logical form are analogous. The value of analogy is that a thing which has a certain logical form may be represented by another which has the same structure. I which is analogous to it. The most important analogy is that between thought and language. Language copies the pattern of thought and thereby is able to represent thought. To understand language requires some apprehension of logical form. Okay, abstraction is the consideration of logical form apart from content. The reason why people distrust abstraction is simply that they do not know how to make use and use them correctly, so that abstract thought leads them to into error and bewilderment. Abstraction is the perhaps the most powerful instrument of human understanding. Abstraction Abstracted forms are called concepts because nature is full of analogies. We can understand certain parts of it in the light of a few very general concepts. All things to which the same concept applies are analogous. Scientists attempts to find many forms from a given content, to abstract a common form from diverse content and so form concept to apply their concept to more and more kind of thing. Find new contents for their abstracted forms. Yeah. Finding possible contents for empty form is called interpretation. The sciences deal only with form which may be interpreted for their spatial subject matter. Logic will deals with any forms whatever without reference to content. A knowledge of a forms and their relation greatly facilitates any study of their possible application. Logic is a tool of philosophical thought as mathematics is a tool of physics. What is meant by transformation? Why is this notion important for science? Okay. Knowledge of a thing and knowledge about it. What is meant by transformation? A change a thing goes through. That means transformation. And this is important for science because science deals with things which are in transformation. I think that's my answer for that. What is the difference between knowledge of a thing and knowledge about it? Mm, okay, okay. So I can have a knowledge of a thing. Okay, I don't know answer about it. I'm just making this up. Uh, I know that like there is a field called engineering, but I don't have what kind of maths is used there. Who were the main people who gave what and what are the specific types of engineering. I don't know all about that. Maybe knowledge of a thing means a little bit from above, and knowledge about it means the things where you are deeply engaged in them and know more about them. That means knowledge about it. I think that's the difference. Like having knowledge of sex and having knowledge about sex. I think these are two differently things. What is a logical picture? How does it differ from an ordinary picture? What do you think a dog has both kinds of knowledge? Hmm. I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Uh, but maybe no. Dog doesn't have both kinds of knowledge. I think dog only has one kind of knowledge, which is knowledge about it. So I don't know. Okay, I think I have to think about it. What is a logical picture? How does it differ from an ordinary picture? Logical picture, it means architect's plan for a house. It's a logical picture. Whereas a ordinary picture may be that house directly as it is. Architect's plan of a house is not the house that is gonna be formed on that land or I don't know what water or something like that. I think logical picture means a more abstract way of making a thing. I don't know what. I don't think they told us what is ordinary picture here. What is a construct? It is always something has been put together. Is cloud a construct? Oh man, I don't know what is a construct. Maybe I should fucking. I mean, like, I think the answer was here actually. Wait, wait, wait. I will get answer for it. Hmm. I mean, is there an answer for this, or the answer is gonna be just, maybe whatever you make it to be? Like, are there answer for it? Because I want to know about it. Okay. What role does abstract play in science? Do we ever thinking have abstract notion practical value? Yeah. I mean, science is pretty much abstract thing. The things such as energy and all these things are abstract notion concepts. So it does play extremely important role in science. What is the opposite of abstraction? I think the opposite of abstraction is what is abstraction? I think abstraction means finding a common type of pattern uh, in many things, and like for making us some kind of a concept out of it. I think that is abstraction, abstracting away. Like a city's map. It is not actual real fucking map, but it is abstracted away from a real vibe and put it on a device or a book. It is abstract, but I think that means abstract. I guess I think opposite of abstract means uh thing that has ease. I think that means the opposite of abstract is uh, the actual thing that might be opposite of abstraction. Let me the fucking find answer for this. I think that is the opposite of abstraction. Concreteness, yeah, concreteness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Things are. Yeah, so I was right, huh? There is abstract, plan, and there is some real plan we execute in a way. I think that is the difference between those. Yeah. Do you ever abstract notion is common sense thinking? Yeah, we do use it. Common sense thinking about karma. It's a abstract concept, abstract notion. You will do bad thing and bad things will happen to you. That is not accurate. Even you do bad things, many bad things will not happen to you. You might become rich or be, that kind of thing. So yeah, have abstract have abstractions, uh practical, huh? Fuck. Have abstractions uh practical value. Yes, abstraction do have practical value. Uh yeah, they are extremely important. Are scientists interested in primarily in abstraction? If so, why? Mm, yeah, I mean, yes, scientists are, primarily interested in abstraction because it largely, helps them define various types of phenomena they see in the world to once they abstract, many things. Maybe a apple falling and a water falling, or maybe, are, you know, operate under the same force which they call gravity, and that is abstracted. Gravity is an abstract concept, and so yeah, scientists are primarily in abstractions interested. I mean, there should have been answers, like even I am fucking wrong. I can, correct myself. What is the relation of logic to science? Do you think it has any value for everyday life? I think science really needs, logic. They make teleological explanations and all kind of things. I think science has, moving away from philosophy, or scientists are, generally not that much into philosophy at all, which I think obviously not all of them, but many of them are not really that much philosophically sophisticated. And philosophy is like, logic is telescope of philosophy or something like that. Or so I think scientists should be, relation of logic to science. Mm, do we think it has any value for everyday life? Everyday life? Yes, I think it generally has uh, value for everyday life. Like it will, save you from making shady and weak reasons, and like it will just make you a fucking hard ass to deal with. Your uh, thoughts and logical reasoning will be extremely rigorous, and yeah, and that will make you, cooler person for me. Like I don't know, yeah, appear in different forms. Name three things given in the text. Okay, I mean either no. Okay, here what it was not. Name three things that may appear in different forms. Okay. Mm. Uh, logical form. Give two examples of logical form other than shape. I think, yeah, but not the examples. I think the hero journey is that kind of thing. Hero journey. The hero is weak, then he becomes fucking strong, and he conquers the world or helps the world. I think that is a form. Okay, man. I don't know. It is logical or not. Mm, okay, I will find their answer. Name two things, one material and one impeter, which are analogous in form. Hmm. So I think I okay. I'm gonna find answer for this because I am struggling with this. I don't know why. Ah, okay. The three things. Name three things that may appear in different forms. Yeah, I have written in this thing, but I forget about it. Forgot about it. Mm, yeah, water, energy, water as ice and steam and what? S- and water, ice, water, steam. Three forms of one common thing, I guess, which is H2O. And next is energy, which is heat and uh, energy, which can be as energy as we can see heat and even energy of a person. Are they fucking same thing common? I don't know, man. Yeah, okay. Energy, light, heat, and electricity. They are pretty similar things. Give two examples of logical forms other than shape. I think Hero's Journey is a logical form, at least for me. Mm, give an example of a construct not deliberately made. Give two different interpretation of the abstract concept progression to what respective fields of experience I different science they belong. Oh, okay. Progression we can give it to in biology as progression as a development of a child to adult. I think that we can consider as a progress. And in physics, in chemistry, we can say, omission of light as a progress. Make up a proposition with a different content, but the same form as Plato was the teacher of Aristotle. Make up a proposition with a different content, but the same form as. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Maybe. Okay. Mm, same form. That means I have to, keep the information as the same. Maybe Aristotle learned under Plato. Okay, man. I will check the answer for it. I wanna learn. Oh, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this is my, weak understanding of form. That's why I'm unable to give correct answers. Yeah, I think the correct answer is like sorry. Einstein was the mentor of Oppenheimer, which is the correct answer for this. Yeah, I fucked up. but I will try next time. Give two interpretation to the abstract concept of progression. I think I gave answer. What name would you give to the structure exemplified by a string quartet, a group of analogous in form, one material, one image. Okay. Mm, I think I have to reread this once again because I am not able to give these answers extremely correctly, and I'm struggling here. Okay. Mhm. Okay, at least I will try your progression. I think I gave one about biology. I will give one on the of physics, which is the sun's development process from a you know from cosmic particle dust the sun is made. I guess that is also a kind of a progression, or yeah. Okay, I will there. What would name would you give to the structure exemplified by a group of bridge players? A good luck clover. Yeah, but I don't know what is a string of quartet. I just don't have this understanding of this English. Ah, tetrad, quadruplet, quadrat. Yeah, I think this 4444. Okay, okay, okay. But I just didn't know what is a string quartet or a group of bridge players. But I don't know what is a group. Oh, sorry. What is a bridge? What are bridge players? I don't know about that. So I am not gonna blame here myself. Good luck clover. Okay, I also didn't understand what this good luck clover meant. So my weak understanding of English, as I am not a native speaker, obviously. Name two things: one material and one immaterial, which are analogous in form. Okay, I don't know, man. Like I will find answer for it. Okay. Crystalline crystal lattice. Okay. I think the honeycomb is an example of this. I was unable to find anything. Give example correct of a construct not deliberately made. Okay, I'm gonna find here also. Oh yeah, yeah. A social construct that was not, yeah. The valuation of gold as a universal currency, I think definitely there. I will Mhm. Mhm. If then and all are, I think, are the to answer point. Okay, I think I'm okay with it. I'm gonna move forward as I'm complete beginner in this, and I think okay, I didn't do that much well, but I think I did all right. The essentials of logical structure. Ugh. Mhm. How long is gonna be taking? Okay, it is gonna be a long, long way. But hey, let's see. Chapter 2. There are 13 chapters. We have finished one chapter and 12% of the book. So let's go further. Chapter 2. The essentials of logical structure, relation and elements. In the previous chapter, it was said that the logical form of thing depend upon its structure or the way it is put together. That is to say, upon the way its several parts are related to each other. Okay, yeah, that means without adding or subtracting any of the factors in the composition of thing, we may utterly change the character of that thing by changing the relation of the various factors to each other. For instance, consider the three names Ronald, Ronald, and Arnold. They contain exactly the same letters, but the relative position of these letters, that is to say, their mutual relation of before and after or right and left, are different in each case and utterly different words result. We may relate these things six letters differently yet and spell the name of English poet Landor. What has been changed is not any of the letter, but the relation of before and after among those letters. Yeah, obviously, the same letters was used, but in different instances. And I think I have to write the logical form here because I have fucked up in. Oh man, I've fucked up in the exam there or a test. I have. I have to do better. Goobly 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 goobly. not only in artificial devices like letters that spell a word, but in physical things as well. The importance of relation may be seen in the very constitution of objects themselves. Consider, for instance, the character of coral rock. Its factors are cells of millions of Lilliputian individuals, all in definite relation to each other. Okay, I will listen how this word is pronounced because I am
Definite.
definite relation to each other. Each tiny cell coheres with some other, that with another. Can it pronounce French also correctly or any other languages? Okay, I will check in another book because I am reading, Nietzsche's book Beyond Good and Evil by Del Caro, and there are lots of, German words there which I am unable to pronounce correctly. Obviously, I will check it and I will go and check that same word is pronounced by a native German speaker as the same, and let's see what it comes out as. Uh, each tiny shell coheres with another, and with another. So ultimately, they all cohere together in an immense love. So long as the relation to each other, i.e., the fact that one is the right of the another, or on another, or near it, far from it, etc., can undergo no change. They form a solid island. But from monstrous grinding force changes their relation, so that shells which were to the right of others are now to the left. Shells which were near each other now are distant, and so forth. What has happened? The rock is no more. Perhaps not a single one of its facts has been destroyed. But if they no longer cohere and thus keep their spatial relation to each other rigidly unaltered, the rock is destroyed. A mere shifting pile of corals is obviously not a rock. The very nature of the object depended on the cohesion of its parts. And cohesion is not itself a factor of the rock, but is a relation among the factors. Yeah. If you watch a young child playing with blocks, you will see him experimenting with various relations into which the blocks may enter with another, and learning to identify the form which results. He piles one upon another, and a third upon this, and fourth upon that. By using only the single relation we call upon, he constructs a column. He sets one block to the right of another and puts a third one across the two. The result is the simple sort of lentil. Okay, I don't know what lentil means. Wait. A horizontal structure beam spanning an opening such as between upright of the door. Wait. Okay, it is like a door-like structure. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the child can do that. He construct a column. He set one block to the right, another push third across the two. Yeah, 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 yeah. I agree with that. And he proceeds to a wall, a house, a pyramid. He does not change the blocks in any way. He merely changes that all important thing called structure. By changing the relation